If it's not the GOAT, then they're full of sheep. 103.3 The GOAT, the greatest sports talk of all time.
The rumors are true.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Dave Schultz and SportsChat are back.
I'm back, baby! I'm back!
One change, though.
I'm sorry, that deal's now off the table.
What?
We live in a different world than we did just 30 seconds ago.
Instead of waking you up, he's taking you home from work.
Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch? I'd like that.
Talking Cajuns, Tigers, Saints, all of it.
I am the father.
Buckle up, Acadiana.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
It's time for Sports Chat with Dave Schultz on 103.3 The GOAT.
I unpacked, and then I packed. I was gone away for a week, Saturday to Friday, a full week.
Yeah, facts.
Unpacked, did laundry, I packed again.
Back on the road again.
I'm going to New Orleans tonight.
Yep, for tomorrow, because we have Sunbelt Media Days.
We're live at Sunbelt Media Days, both days. West is tomorrow, and then the East is on Wednesday. And so Sports Chat will be there again, courtesy of Lafayette Roofing and Dwight Andrus Insurance, a division of Hub International. Dave Schultz back live with Lyndon. How many movies did we see this weekend, Lyndon?
Saw two.
You saw Barbie twice, didn't you?
No, saw Oppenheimer and stayed home and saw on Netflix They Cloned Tyrone with Jamie Foxx, John Boyega, and I'm forgetting the actress's name, but Dave.
What was the other one? What's this one?
They Cloned Tyrone. It's basically a modern take on blaxploitation where the man has been taking African Americans out of the hood and cloning them and using different products to mind control them. Oh, it's such a good movie. Such a good movie on Netflix. And Netflix didn't promote it really.
Isn't that
and I'm really upset about that because this movie it's the second best movie of the weekend behind Oppenheimer.
Well, Oppenheimer wasn't the number one movie of the weekend.
It didn't make the number one money-wise, but...
Which is how you... And the other one made double what Oppenheimer
critically, Oppenheimer had 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's so
I'll
good.
call American Express and see how much you can pay with critically. Okay.
Fair.
What was the...
it was good,
what
man.
What was the black comedy, A Detective?
Oh, black comedy.
When they were using fried chicken to manipulate?
Oh, Undercover Brother.
Undercover Brother,
yeah.
right? So is this on Undercover Brother?
It takes inspiration from Undercover Brother, but it's better written, better acted.
Better written?
Yeah.
Because that stuff was funny.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
This is funny, but then it has like a very it has a lot of thriller moments in it.
Okay. Well, we did see Mission Impossible.
Nice. Was it good?
It was really good.
See, I'm going to see
It's a legit 2 hour and 50-minute movie.
I'm going to see it this week.
And I always get up and go to the bathroom because I drink 20 ounces of soda in 5 minutes. Tickets are not that expensive.
No.
I guess.
Not at all.
$11?
Yep.
That was on a Friday night.
I'm going to go.
So if you can swing a matinee somewhere along the way, you may be in good shape. The problem is, it cost me $16 for popcorn, small popcorn and soda.
That's not good.
And they didn't even have Milk Duds, which I would have purchased. So the next time, I'm going to go get $2 worth of Milk Duds at Walgreens, a $2.59 Coke Zero, stick it in my pocket, and I'm going to save a lot of money.
Yeah.
All right. Great show for you today. We'll wrap up Sunbelt Media Days, or SEC Media Days, all right, and look ahead to Sunbelt Media Days. Today on the show, we got Chris Gordy. He's going to hop on at 3:30. In fact, I reached out to him to make sure that was okay.
Nice.
He usually comes on Tuesday, but we'll be in New Orleans for tomorrow. Phil Steele from the Phil Steele magazine, from the College Preview. He's coming on. He will talk SEC and Sunbelt.
The best yearly college written preview you got.
Exactly. Oh, excuse me for the clearing of the throat. Corey Diaz from the Daily Advertiser. He's on his way to New Orleans. We'll talk Ragin Cajuns football with him. And Ryan Ballingy from Golf News Net, our buddy, will talk Open Championship. Not much of a thrilling Open Championship unless you're Ryan Ballingy and bet that Brian Harmon was going to win. Then it was incredibly thrilling, although it was kind of done well in advance. All right, 269-1077, 269-1077. So I left you on Thursday. Hadn't been on. You guys did Friday, and the big story was it wasn't so much Georgia was picked to win the SEC for the first time somebody else was picked to win the SEC other than Alabama. And the last time Alabama was not picked to win the SEC, they won the SEC, and I believe they won the national championship. LSU was picked second. Tennessee was picked second in the East. LSU second in the West. But I guess the big news was...
It wasn't the Commanders?
It was... Well, that was Washington.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking SEC.
I got you. No, I just thought you were talking about the biggest story.
Vanderbilt got 8 votes.
Oh.
Vanderbilt got 8 first-place votes out of nowhere. So Vanderbilt got 8 first-place votes. Maybe some people are thinking, all right, this voting is ridiculous. And that's where we are. All right. Jaden Daniels got first team All-SEC. KJ Jefferson right behind him. It's not about, and I heard Colin Cowherd actually talking to T-Bob Hebert on their podcast. And even Cowherd is like, Saban's slowing down. He's not quite as good. And I'm like, what are these guys looking at?
I saw your article. Yeah, where you're like, about the legacy.
What are these guys? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we wrote about that. But what are these guys talking about? It's not like Alabama has had, the 5th best recruiting class or the 10th best recruiting class.
Top 5.
They've had 2 of the best the last 3 years. They've been 1, 2, and 1.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not.
I think it was
maybe
1, 2,
1, and 2.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know the last one's 2.
And then if you go a couple of years ago, right, they were number 1 in 21, maybe 20. They were number 1. Then A&M was number 1, and that's when Saban got all huffy-puffy about it, right? Then they were number 1 after A&M, and they're right there again. Georgia's number 1 now because they got a lot of commits. Alabama's got like half the commits, and they're still top 10. So I don't know why anybody thinks that they're slowing down. I happen to think he hasn't quite hit on the quarterback. And again, we've talked about this. Alabama's gone from Jalen Hurts to Tua to Mac Jones to Bryce Young. They all got better. They were all better than the last guy. And the guy right before them was pretty good.
Yep.
Right, Jalen Hurts was pretty good. Despite what anybody thinks, he still had him in the championship game. Tua saved him. Tua got hurt in the SEC championship game. Jalen saved them. And then Mac Jones, stayed healthy, and he put up all kind of record numbers, like Joe Burrow type numbers. And one of his wide receivers went down. And then Bryce Young is the best one of them all, winning a Heisman Trophy. I'm just not sure, and I'm just not sure if these guys have it, though. Jalen Milroe looked awful against his A&M game. All right. Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson looked so good in spring ball. Nick Saban went out and got Tyler Buchner from Notre Dame.
Yep. Right. I heard they have not been looking good at Bama.
That's my understanding. They keep on making these bad decisions. And here's the other thing, and we'll talk about this more during the season. We'll keep an eye on this. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going by one ball game. Could be me. I am not a Tommy Rees fan. I laughed incessantly when that hire was made by Nick Saban at Alabama. I just don't like him. I just don't like the way he calls an offensive game. All right. And the only example I have, really, because I tried not to watch Notre Dame, but they were playing my Orange last year. And I don't think it was Buchner, it was another quarterback who couldn't complete a pass and was throwing it, getting picked off and just making bad throws. And the only reason Syracuse was in this ball game was because they kept on passing the football. He should not have passed the football more than 10 times in the game. It really should have been like that. Now he had Meyer, who made a couple of good catches as a tight end, one for a touchdown. It was such a good throw, Meyer had to turn all the way around. He's running, looking over his left shoulder, had to turn around and make a catch over his right shoulder. The ball was nowhere near it. Meanwhile, Reese is hammering his quarterback, yelling at him. I'm like, who is yelling at Tommy Reese for being an idiot and calling these stupid plays? And I'm rooting for Syracuse. I mean, you could go back and look at my timeline during that game. It's on Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it these days. But I am livid watching this football game because I just think the offensive coordinator for Notre Dame doesn't know what he's doing. And meanwhile, he's now the offensive coordinator for Alabama.
Jeez.
Now they're all saying that Alabama is going to go to that running attack, right? Kind of old school, hard mouth football. We'll see. You better play a good defense. You know what you better play defense like? Georgia the last couple of years.
Or like the Alabama of old.
Or the Alabama of old. And Alabama's defense has not been that good, as far as I'm concerned.
In 3 years, right?
Hasn't been that dominating. I'm still trying to figure out how Will Anderson put up those numbers and got all those awards because I don't remember, a breakout game he had last year. So, in terms of Alabama, I'm just not sold. I don't think it's ending. I don't think, again, they're going to the Gator Bowl or the Independence Bowl or something like that. I just think they're going to have 2 losses, and that very well could be Texas and LSU. Now, the thing is, all their hard games outside of Auburn, if you want to consider that hard, is at home. Texas, Tennessee, LSU, all in Tuscaloosa. So there's that. We're not really sure about Georgia because of the quarterback. A lot of these teams, we're not sure about the quarterback. Carson Beck, we think is going to be pretty good. We're not sure. Joe Milton III has a fantastic arm, but there's a reason why he lost his job at Michigan and he didn't win a job at Tennessee. And then you got to replace Hyatt and who was the other Tennessee wide receiver?
I'm blanking on it.
I was told, actually, the other wide receiver was much better than Jalen Hyatt.
Interesting.
The way they stacked the offense, nobody knew how to guard him, and no one was back on Jalen Hyatt, so he just kept on running past everybody.
That's interesting.
So they gotta replace those guys. All right.
So it's Hyatt and Cedric Tillman.
Cedric Tillman. I was told he's going to be a much better pro. That's what I was told. For what it's worth.
Okay.
All right. 269-1077. 269-1077. Meanwhile, the media is the one who votes on the SEC. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The coaches are the one who vote on the Sun Belt. It's not media driven, or at least I didn't get my form. And so that came out today. And the Cajuns are finishing 3rd in the preseason poll. I think that's pretty good right now. I mean, for a team that we don't know who the quarterback is.
Yeah.
That's not bad. And I think that in the West, it's Troy, South Alabama, the Cajuns, Southern Miss. Texas State finishing 5th is a little bit of a surprise. Arkansas State and ULM after that. In the East, because JMU can't win and go to the bowl game, they're picked to win the division, but App State would go to the bowl game. Coastal Carolina finishing 3rd, Marshall 4th, Georgia Southern 5th, Georgia State 6th, ODU 7th. Again, I'm still trying to figure out the whole South Alabama thing. Lyndon, they have, again, 18 out of 22 starters back, and 2 of the guys that are back that were not starting at the end of the year, so they're not among them. One's a linebacker, one's a safety. They've been there before.
Yeah.
Keith Gallman played 3 years for them. They're back. Again, if this team struggles, it's an issue. Now, they're coming off a bad loss in the New Orleans Bowl. They got embarrassed by Western Kentucky, and we're going to the scene of the crime tomorrow, so we'll talk to Kane Womack and company about that. But there, again, I'm not understanding that over-under 7.5. Now, Lyndon, I'm going to wait until preseason ends, right, the week before the season begins, because as we see, some guys got hurt today, right? C.J. Gardner, got hurt just doing a drill, like warming up.
He is out for the season.
That's already been reported. He's out for the season.
Like, that's crazy.
Is that right?
Yeah, out for the season. Yeah,
right.
that's what Schefter said.
Then is it Naheem Hines?
Yeah, Naheem Hines is out for the season
all right,
as well.
Well, that's a freak accident. Mm-hmm. He's on a jet ski just sitting there and is crashed into by somebody else.
But you see why they say they didn't let Drew Brees ride a motorcycle during his time as Saints quarterback? Why they don't let some of these players, it's in their contract, you can't go mountain climbing, you can't ride a motorcycle. It's because of freak act, like things like this and them getting hurt.
Well, that's a freak accident.
No, for sure.
Come on.
For sure. No, I'm with you. But I'm just saying, I see why it's in their contracts, because
you got a better chance of getting hurt in a car accident than you do with what happened to him.
Oh, actually, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, excuse me, it said he could have been, if the MRI came back positive, he could have been out for the season.
Okay.
MRI came back negative, no structural damage to his knee, so he's considered day-to-day at this time.
Oh, all right.
So big break for Detroit.
Big break. So we'll see. You know what? Time frame? It's this season.
Yeah. No, he's coming back this season.
You know, I mean, hopefully he's back for the beginning of the season for the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
But Hines, that's a freak accident. He wasn't doing anything. He was just sitting there.
Yeah, you're right.
According to what they said on Rich Eisen, that he was just sitting there and someone crashed into him. So that's not him being, Jordan Addison, where he's going 140 miles an hour, being an idiot.
True.
He was just sitting there and someone crashed into him. So we'll wait until right before the season starts to do our over-unders. And that'll be a big one. We've talked about Alabama going on the under. That's still 10.5. But it's like minus 185. I mean, that's Linden type money. That's Burton type money. So I don't know. All right, let's take a timeout. We got Chris Gordy locked on SEC coming up at the bottom of the hour. Phil Steele from the Phil Steele magazine coming up at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. Corey Diaz talking Ragin Cajuns and Sunbelt. And Ryan Ballinger, he should come down to Sunbelt Media Days. He just won on a big bet. Talk about a long shot coming home. He bet and won that Brian Harmon was going to win. Who saw that one coming? All right, let's take a timeout. Back after this, Dave Schultz, Lyndon Burton on a Monday afternoon Sports Chat, 103.3. The GOAT.
Whoa, what a beautiful girl. Don't let someone get your goat. There's plenty to go around for everyone. 103.3 The GOAT, the greatest sports talk of all time.
Where are we on the lineup?
It's official. Avery is producing Main Street Music Days.
We need to be ready. We're going to have lots of people. What's the status on the new sound engineer?
They need an audio technician to keep things level from sound checks to encores.
Make sure audio from one stage does not compete with another.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And did we mention it's aluminum free? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 500 and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, free product of your choice, and ships free with code 500. LumeDeodorant.com, code 500 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. Love it or return it for free. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code 500.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Right now you're thinking, Comparion, never heard of them. We know. We also know that you have no idea that Comparion Insurance agents are local and provide expert advice. So to help it stick, we're going to say local agent 4 times in the next 15 seconds. Ready? Go. Our local agents know you and your community. Our local agents offer insurance from top carriers. Our local agents have minty fresh breath.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agents. Expert advice.
And there's number 4.
Before I was adopted, I felt alone.
I felt nervous that I wouldn't have a family.
I was getting older and older. I didn't think I was going to get adopted.
With help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, Lexi, Connor, and LaShawna now have a forever family and the foundation for a bright future.
When I was adopted, it was like, wow, I get to settle, and this is permanent.
After I was adopted, I felt happy.
Adoption changed me for the better. I feel like I can be whoever I want to be.
Every child deserves a safe, loving, and permanent home. Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find forever families for children who have been lingering in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Every second counts in a poison emergency. That's why Poison Help is standing by 24/7 to provide free assistance in over 100 languages. Save Poison Help as a contacting your phone today. Poison Help. 1-800-222-1222.
If it wasn't for goats, we wouldn't have coffee. Look it up.
I'm gonna get some coffee. You want some coffee? No, thank you. I'm fine.
And the best sports talk in Acadiana. 103.3 The Goat.
All right, Dave Schultz, Lyndon Burton, we are getting really close to football season, right?
Yes,
We're about 6 weeks away, and we already have the first college game day. It's going to Charlotte.
Okay.
That college hotbed. Well, that's South Carolina and North Carolina. So that's Drake May versus Spencer Rattler.
Ooh, okay.
And Super Genius right here, right? He had a rattlesnake diamond necklace. I didn't understand what he was doing with that.
Oh.
Spencer Rattler.
Yeah.
With the rattlesnake.
That's where you need me to come in and be like, Spencer,
clueless.
Who set your bling up? Was it?
Oh, I know.
Was it
I
Ben
asked him
Baller?
that.
Was it the guy from Houston?
Weren't you listening? What?
Well, I was making sure everything was functioning. So what did he say?
I asked him. Well, who knows what he said?
Oh, okay.
He could tell me what it was, but
yeah.
Also, we did get him to sing. I don't know if you heard that.
Now, I did hear that.
He did sing a little bit.
You tried to get a bunch of people to give you their favorite karaoke songs, and a lot of them were being shy.
They were, right. And we all think we can all sing.
Yeah.
Some of us are well aware we can't sing, and yet sing anyway.
I think Spencer said something about he's an old school R&B fan.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I didn't know the Michael Jackson song he was talking about.
No, meaning
but that's all right. He did a couple of lines.
I think he said it wasn't bad. No, it was something off of that bad. It was something off of the Bad album, though, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
I tried to go even further back.
Oh, okay.
Don't stop until you get enough, which is his best song.
Yeah, he did not
by
know.
far. No.
Wait, what? Don't stop till you get enough. Best Michael Jackson song?
Yeah.
Remember the time.
Yeah.
With the Magic Johnson video with Eddie Murphy. That's an incredible song.
You're right about that. It's just not his best.
Oof. I love Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, but that song sounds too much like You Rock My World. You rock my world, you know you did.
Is that Michael Jackson?
Yeah, that's Michael Jackson.
All right, but
that's why I just remember the time. Let the callers, y'all let us know best Michael Jackson song.
It doesn't matter what the callers say. I'm telling you what the best Michael Jackson song is. The callers are welcome to call in 269-1077 and tell us which song they think is the best one, but they're wrong. Okay. And what's the one where he's snapping the video?
He's snapping so many. Is it Billie Jean?
No.
No, it's not Thriller. I think it's Billie Jean.
It's not the one. No, that's not the one.
Or Smooth Criminal?
No, that's the one where he's dancing with the hat on.
Oh, the snap where it's just beat Man in the Mirror.
No.
Oh, he's snapping that when he's walking with the kids and they're all snapping.
Yeah, that's not it.
Oh yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Now I gotta look it up.
Because Michael Jackson does that snapping. you chose his signature move.
The way you make me feel.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
All right. Again, 269-1077, 269-1077. One of the things that we'll be dealing with here is, I did write about these legacies. Mm-hmm. It's on 103.3 The GOAT, and people are talking about that Bill Belichick is on the hot seat, although there's a whole thing that...
As a Patriots fan, how do you feel about that? Is he for you?
He shouldn't be, but if he's the one, if it was his idea to let Tom Brady go... Then,
I mean, it probably was.
Then he's got to be responsible. He's got to be held responsible for that.
But he didn't get to, in his defense, I'll say this, he didn't get to keep the guy he wanted.
Jimmy Garoppolo?
That's who he wanted, Dave. Because think about it. He wanted a game manager to fit his system. And that's who he wanted.
Yeah.
Y'all won with Matt Castle.
That was out of injury.
No, but I'm just saying in the sense of I think Jimmy G's better than Matt Castle.
You do?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So when they wanted Jimmy Garoppolo, what happened after that?
He went to San Fran.
Yeah, but what happened to the Patriots?
Oh, They went down.
No, they went to three Super Bowls and they won two of them.
Yeah. No, for sure. I thought
Did I miss all the Super Bowls that Garoppolo has won?
I was thinking post-quarterback outside of Tom Brady.
This is post-Brady. Yeah, this is post-Garoppolo. All right. He wanted.
No, you're right.
So if he wanted 2 years for $30 million apiece, and Belichick said no, and instead of tanking, which would have been Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
They tried to win with Cam Newton.
Yep. Yes, they did.
Now, in Belichick's defense, in a couple of ball games, they should have won because Newton fumbled the ball, but they had a chance to go get Trevor Lawrence, and they could have turned the whole thing over, and you could have had the cheap, super up-and-coming quarterback again, and they didn't do it because his ego got in the way. So that's something to think about. But I don't think his legacy is going to get tarnished. I don't even care if it's more Brady than Belichick. So what? He still won 6 Super Bowls. Saban's won 7 championships. And if he doesn't get there for the first time in 3 years in Alabama, then, other teams, there's other teams that have caught up. Okay. And again, it's not like Alabama's going to go, 7-5, like we mentioned. The problem is these other places do not wait very long. We'll see, and I don't want to put the pressure on them because I don't think it's fair. If I don't know who the quarterback is going into the season, there's an issue. And with the Ragin Cajuns, we don't know who that quarterback is.
We do not, yeah.
We will find out more tomorrow.
Oh, you think we'll find out?
I think he's going to tell us if Ben Wooldridge is ready.
Okay. Because Thursday...
Or if Ben Wooldridge is not going to be ready. And it's really going to be between Chandler Fields and Deion Chris. I don't think he's going to tell us who it is. No, I don't think so.
I'm going to ask Jay Walker because he's coming on the morning show. A little plug Thursday morning he'll be on. Okay. See if we can get some inside information out of old J-Dub.
So we got to make shirts for that, don't we?
J-Dub, this season, definitely.
J-Dub?
Should the GOAT's nickname be J-Dub?
Oh, how about that? Yeah, liking that.
There we go.
Liking that.
Coming up with something.
So I don't think it's fair, and we're going to be heading. The problem is, if you go with Ben Wooldridge and he has a nice season, now it is going to be Deion Chris the next year. And how good is that season with Ben Wooldridge?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where he could be physically set to go, but for a month, he's mentally not quite as sure because that's the normal thing. You come back from a knee injury or an elbow injury or shoulder injury, you're not really into it until you realize I can get hit there and I'm not going to crumble. No. We'll see. I don't think it's fair to Mike Desimo. I think he's the head coach here moving forward. I'd say until further notice, but until it bottoms out, and I'm not sure it's going to bottom out. We'll see what Troy does this year and then next. And then South Alabama is going to turn it over next year. Right? We'll see where Will Hall is with his quarterbacking. And then, G.J. Kinney is coming up from behind at Texas State. So we'll see. All right, let's take a timeout. We got to put the bow on the SEC Media Days. Chris Gordy joined us in Nashville. We'll put a bow on it when we come back. It is Dave Schultz, Lynn Burton on a Monday afternoon Sports Chat, 103.3 The GOAT.
I can't change.
If it wasn't for goats, we wouldn't have coffee. Look it up.
I want to get some coffee. You want some coffee? No, thank you. I'm fine.
And the best sports talk in Acadiana. 103.3 The GOAT.
Martinis 2023, Lafayette's absolute best martini competition and teeny tour to benefit Healing House, Hope for Grieving Children is in full swing. This year, enjoy signature martinis at 8 local restaurants through August 15th. Enjoy a different restaurant's martini for $2 with the purchase of an entree on their featured Teeny Tuesday menu. Participating restaurants include Bonton Grill, Bonefish Grill, Fizzo's, Mercy Kitchen, Chops Mid-City Smokehouse, Tsunami, Vestal, and Walk-Ons. Purchase a Martinis a la Maison package and receive 2 hand-painted martini glasses, a signed print by this year's glass artist Candace Greer, and access to exciting online silent auction items. Visit healing-house.org for more information. Join us this Tuesday at Tsunami downtown to try their absolute Sailor Moon Martini. Martinis 2023, presented by Town Square Media, Moss Motors, Bourbon Royalty Candle Company, Advanced Piping, Linear Controls, Leading Home Care, and DeLome Funeral Home.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text ROCK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text ROCK to 321-321. That's ROCK to 321-321.
Hey y'all, I'm Kelly Clarkson. Every American dreams of creating a better life for his or her family, but in some communities, those dreams face difficult challenges. When we come together to help those in need get the same opportunities as everyone else, we truly are making our country a better place to live for all of us. So look for volunteer opportunities in your community to help others achieve the American dream, all right? This message is courtesy of the United States Air Force.
Thirsty for intelligent sports talk? Sounds like you need a little Gatorade. 103.3 The GOAT. The greatest sports talk of all time.
I didn't really mean to hurt you. I didn't want to see you go. I know I made you cry, but baby, if I could turn back time.
All right, the Sunbelt Conference has become the premier Group of 5 conference in the country, and Sports Chat with me, Dave Schultz, will be live from New Orleans at Sunbelt Media Days, Tuesday, July 25th, Wednesday, July 26th. I'll bring you the coaches, players, and media covering the Sunbelt 2023. The 2023 Sunbelt Media Day is brought to you by Lafayette Roofing and Dwight Andrus Insurance, a division of Hub International. That's Sports Chat with me, Dave Schultz, live from New Orleans at the 2023 Sunbelt Media Days on the best sports talk in Acadiana, 103.3 The GOAT and 103.3thegoat.com. Coming up at 4 p.m., Phil Steele will preview college football and talk about his magazine. Meanwhile, from Locked On SEC, and from my understanding, the star of media karaoke in Nashville, it is Chris Gordy. Chris, how are you?
I'm good, Dave. I think I actually came in runner-up this year. John Neighbors, Arkansas Radio. He I think stole the show this year, showing his versatility. So I'll give it to John this year.
Okay. Well, John had that shirt and that energy. He's like, I don't even know if I can sing, but I just look like I'm having fun, and that's mostly what karaoke is.
Yeah, and I think he did. He went from like Jason Aldean to Adele. Like that's just versatility to its finest.
No doubt about it. All right, your thoughts. I mean, can you imagine 8 first place votes for Vanderbilt? What were people thinking?
Yeah, it's just some knuckleheads that look. And I've seen some people stand by it and say, look, if you don't believe in this process and you think it's a little bit of a joke anyway, and those people are just trying to prove the point. Okay, but look, Paul Feinbaum came out today and said, I think the SEC should take away the votes. It's absolute insanity to think that to pick Vanderbilt to win it all. So I don't know. It's tough. I mean, I believe in a democracy. I don't think we should be taking away votes, but I also think they should send out a mandate next year and say, look, guys, only fill this out if you're going to take it seriously, because it does throw things off a little bit. But, the thing is, Dave, like, everybody I talked to all last week at Media Days, almost every one of them said, I'm picking LSU in the West. I like LSU. I think there was only 1 or 2 that said they liked Alabama. And then the results of the poll come out, and Alabama is ahead of LSU in the West. And I just look at those Vandy people and go, man, if you just would have voted correctly, maybe LSU would have been first. But it's a media poll. At the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything. But I was surprised how many people, it's almost like a presidential election. Some people they vote a certain way and they keep quiet, and then we're a little bit surprised when we see the results. And I think that's what happened on Friday when I saw Alabama as the favorite in the West.
Yeah, I mean, that vote wasn't particularly close. The sad thing is that Vanderbilt got 8 first-place votes, and still we're like 200 votes behind Missouri.
Yeah. And look, it's funny, too. A&M is picked to finish third in the West, and they were 5-7 a year ago. So I think that's kind of interesting that a lot of the media is saying, okay, well, maybe, as much as I heard people say last week, it's going to be a disaster with Petrino and Jimbo. Well, most of the media doesn't think so if they're picking them to finish third in the West. So thought that was interesting. And then also seeing Jaden Daniels become first team all SEC selection. That was huge. I mean, I think somebody told me it wasn't since the late 80s, like Tommy Hodson was maybe the last LSU quarterback to be all, first team all SEC. So that's big. I mean, that's huge. But when I saw the results come out, I'm like, wait, so we think Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in the SEC, but we don't think he can win in Tuscaloosa? We think Alabama, who doesn't know who their quarterback is still going to win? So, go figure.
Yeah, but what about Jaden Daniels seems to be getting a lot of love here when I thought that KJ Jefferson was generally considered the best quarterback in the SEC, and that doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, I was surprised. Go look at their numbers last year. They were pretty comparable to each other. I think, the interesting part, obviously, KJ missed that LSU game last year head-to-head. I think when I look at experience, I was running through the numbers. Jaden has started about 40, 41 games in his career. KJ's only started about 25. Jaden has way more skins on the wall and experience as a starting quarterback in all his years at Arizona State. So I'm intrigued, man. The continuity of Jaden Daniels, we were told last year there were times where they told him to protect the football. Obviously, he didn't let it fly as much as he could have. There were a lot of LSU fans clamoring for take some deep shots. But we look at the interception numbers last year and see he barely threw any, and that was by design. They didn't want him to make the big mistake. I think this year they believe in him a little bit more. There's some more confidence with Mike Denbrock back as the OC. I think they're going to let it fly a little bit more this year. Now, I don't know what the Dan Enos effect will be on KJ Jefferson in Arkansas, but I like the continuity of LSU back with their OC and their quarterback. And, if I just had to pick one, I think Jaden Daniels should have a better year statistically than KJ Jefferson.
Talking to Chris Gordy, Locked On SEC, I had somebody that may or may not do another SEC podcast. He is not a big fan of Billy Napier, thinks he's boring, although I'm not sure, outside of like Lane Kiffin up there, I'm not sure, and maybe a Sam Pittman who told my guy he's got to do a little bit better than Ham's beer. I appreciate that sense of humor. But what do you think about Billy Napier? He's another one of those guys, after 1 year, is on a little bit of the hot seat, at least from the outside. I don't know about from the inside.
Yeah, I think they're going to have patience just because of that recruiting class he's got coming, in 2024. The stark reality of that is, anytime you pull the plug on a coach after, just 2 years, you're really taking a risk, particularly when that guy's recruited well. If you're Florida and you don't think Napier's the guy and you're going to pull the plug after this season, you're setting yourself back because you're going to have to bring in a whole new coach who's going to have to rebuild that entire recruiting class. You're going to have a lot of kids decommit because, frankly, they committed to Billy Napier. That doesn't mean they're going to come for the new guy. You got to see this thing out. And did things go well last year? No. But he's got to prove himself this year. And I think any improvement, if it's 6-6, I don't think that's a big enough improvement. But if he gets to 7-5 at Florida and they have a big win or two, I think the arrow is pointed upward. I think he'll be fine. But recruiting is such a big part of this. And the fact he's built up such a really good for 2024, I just find it hard to believe that they would pull the plug on Napier after year 2 in Florida. So I think he'll get the benefit of the doubt. And, just look at Sark at Texas. They were kind of in the same boat. Disappointing year 1 and year 2, but he recruited so well. You kind of have to see this thing out.
It's Chris Gordy, Locked On SEC on a Monday afternoon Sports Chat 103.3 The GOAT. We appreciate Chris moving up to Monday. We'll be in New Orleans covering the Sun Belt Media Days. Here's the difference, and I know it's the Sun Belt versus the SEC, but Chris, I get every coach, and Sun Belt brings 2 players. I'll get every player on from every team. It makes our jobs a lot easier when everyone's willing to do that.
Yeah, it's just SEC's gotten too big. I mean, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. That the first year I went to SEC Media Days a decade ago, there was only about 15, 16 radio stations there. It was a lot easier to get access to people. I mean, I was talking to a buddy of mine who went about 15 years ago. He was one of the first stations on Radio Row, and he said the coaches would just come by and you would get everybody. He said it was way easier. But now you got about 40-plus radio stations and podcasters and TV stations, all, they're looking for their soundbite. It just clutters up Radio Row way too much, and it clutters up the schedules for these coaches, and you're not able to get everybody. And so it's tough. I don't know how you fix it. Maybe start limiting access to some folks, but if you're the SEC, you don't want to turn anybody away. You want as much coverage as possible because you have the biggest thing out there.
And I don't think there were any Dallas radio stations here this year. There will be Dallas radio stations there next year, I presume.
There will be, and my radio station in Houston. A lot of my hosts want to go next year, so we'll have probably our full complement of our station. We may have one of our competitors in Houston may decide to take the trip. So, yeah, you're going to have even more radio stations next year. Now maybe you get some of the smaller stations in Florida and Alabama don't want to make the trip all the way out to Dallas, but yeah, this thing's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger with adding Texas and Oklahoma. That's the other thing, too. You'll get the Austin radio station. You'll probably get, a couple from Norman, Oklahoma. Yeah, it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. And so, I don't know. I mean, maybe with the expansion of everything, do you maybe open the window up a little bit more for the coaches and the players to do more hits? Because, nothing against the big room, but that should just be for the writers who are writing stories to ask questions and stuff. I don't know, many of the radio or TV people that didn't even go in the big room and ask questions. So, I don't know, man. I don't know how you fix it.
Yeah, but if that wasn't allowed, then I wouldn't have got my shout out from Billy Napier.
That's true. You and Billy Napier go way back.
That's right.
Y'all are BFF. So I hope he sticks around Florida for a while. Here's the best thing. If he doesn't, maybe he'll come back to Louisiana in a couple years.
Well, here's the thing, though. As nice as he is, I can't get him on the show. So there's that. So we're trying. It's nice that he said something, but it would have been nicer if he came on for the show for 10 to 12 minutes. He is Chris Gordy. All right. So again, I don't think there's any shock of the teams at the top of the SEC. Georgia, Tennessee on one side, and then you have Alabama, LSU, and A&M. Give me a surprise team.
Surprise team. I mean, I still like Kentucky, man. I really like the addition of Devin Leary. I had somebody tell me last week they think he can be even better than Will Levis was. And that's saying something because Will Levis was really good there for them these last 2 years. But when you look at the talent he's got around him, you added Ray Davis, who was a top 5 rusher in the SEC last year at Vanderbilt. You bring in, you bring back Berrien Brown and Dane Key. They were both true freshman receivers last year with Tavian Robinson. I think Kentucky is going to be much better this year. They bring back Liam Cohen as their OC, who was really good 2 years ago. They're going to beat somebody they're not supposed to. And if things go well, I think Kentucky is what Tennessee was last year, a 10-win team that, goes to a New Year's Six bowl game. And that's saying something because Kentucky hasn't done that in forever. So I think Kentucky's a surprise team. I would love to jump on the South Carolina bandwagon. I just don't know about their offensive line. That it's not good. And I felt bad talking to Spencer Rattler. I wanted to be like, dude, so what are you doing to prepare to take all those hits this year? Because you're going to get killed. But look, they've got some weapons. Nicholas Harbor, that's a name you got to know. He's a true freshman, top 20 recruit coming in. They're going to play him at tight end, a little bit at wideout. That's a name to watch this year at South Carolina. But unfortunately, they don't have a defense and they don't have an O-line, so I got to stay away from South Carolina.
I would tell you, he actually said that, what he wants to do this year. He says, I'm a little bit bigger. I'm 215. I want to run more. Sounds like he's going to have to do so.
Yeah, you're going to have to run more, Spencer. You're going to get murdered. I mean, like that Georgia game, week 2 or 3 last year, he got annihilated. Go look at the schedule this year. They get Georgia again in week 3. So it's they're going to be humbled very quickly. And look, I know Shane Beamer is cool and all. He makes TikTok videos. He's dancing on Twitter and all this. But at a certain point, you got to win some football games. And I don't know if 6-7 wins is going to get you a pass every year in Columbia.
He is Chris Gordy. What's coming up on Locked On SEC?
Yeah, we got more of our interviews from SEC Media Days last week. Some more player interviews we didn't get to run last week. So we'll have a Florida player on, a Kentucky player on, a couple other guys throughout the week, and of course, our conversation with the Commissioner, Greg Sankey. I asked him some tough questions this year, Dave. He got a little uncomfortable, so we'll be running that, I believe, tomorrow.
All right, so are you going to come back? You did Cher, if I could turn back time. Are you going to do Sonny and Cher next year? I Got You, Babe, with John Neighbors?
Well, that was Chris Marlar.
Oh, Chris Marlar.
I could probably do a little Sonny Bono, but I don't know if it'd be any good or not.
He is Chris Gordy, Locked on SEC. Appreciate you, my friend. Enjoy the gift, and I appreciate all your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Dave. Thanks, man. Talk to you next week.
All right. Let's take a time out. That was good stuff. All right. Is Kentucky a surprise? Is that going to be a surprise? I think they always finish third.
Yeah, I mean, if they finish second, third.
Second would be a surprise.
Would it?
Yeah.
I mean, who's good over there?
Tennessee.
Oh, true. You're right. Yeah, no, if they finish third, fourth, expected. Yeah. Second, surprise.
Second would be a surprise.
Yeah,
all right. All right, Eat Lafayette is happening now through September 10th. Go to 1033 The Goat and click on Eat Lafayette to download the digital passport. You can win a trip for two with airfare accommodations to Savannah, Georgia, courtesy of Wings Travel. Eat Lafayette from Lafayette Travel and sponsored in part by 1033 The Goat. Top of the hour, Phil Steele will give us like a full 15 minutes of college football preview. We do LSU and the SEC. We do Cajuns and the Sun Belt on 1033 The Goat.
My head grew heavy and my sight grew dim. I had to stop for the night.
At Lofton, we're in the business of matching hard workers with some of the most sought-after employers in the Lafayette area. To Lofton, you're more than just another employee. We care about your interests, and we can help match you with a company that needs your skills. You can complete an application, schedule an interview, and even browse jobs by simply going to lofton.jobs. That's lofton.jobs. We also offer an unlimited $100 referral bonus. At Lofton, we put people to work. Lofton.jobs.
Welcome back to Total Wine.
Hey, Ruthie, I need help filling the ultimate beach cooler.
Well, we have the most hard seltzers and amazing canned cocktails anywhere, and at the lowest prices in town. Always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, be 21.
DQ presents... Picture this. Picture your favorite Blizzard treat, but this one is being held by someone very special. RE, our Children's Miracle Network Hospital's champion.
Hi!
Miracle Treat Day is Thursday, July 27th. $1 or more of each Blizzard treat sold at participating locations benefits your local children's hospital and kids like RE. So treat yourself in the most meaningful way.
Support kids like me on Miracle Treat Day, Thursday, July 27th.
DQ. Happy tastes good.
The extracurricular activities, the traffic, the nightly homework, the traffic, the finding time to eat dinner together as a family, the traffic. Back to school can be stressful. Thanks to Ziploc, meal prep doesn't have to be. New Ziploc bags with Stay Open design have a patented stand-up bottom that helps keep the bag upright and a top grease that folds and holds for easy filling, unlocking a second set of hands in the kitchen. If only it unlocked a second set of lanes. New Ziploc brand freezer and storage bags with Stay Open design from S.C. Johnson, a family company.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the LHSAA, are the 110,000 high school sports students in Louisiana. And so, we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer, and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
Hi, I'm Kristen Chenoweth. When many servicemen and women return home, they carry with them the invisible wounds of war. But thanks to the life-saving power of the human-animal bond, professionally trained service dogs can help. If you're a veteran or know a veteran struggling with post-traumatic stress or traumatic brain injury, please go to AmericanHumane.org to learn about our Pups for Patriots program, which provides specially trained service dogs free of charge to veterans in need. Let's help our veterans heal from the invisible wounds of war.
Pardon us while we butt in with a little common sense. 1033 The GOAT, the greatest sports talk of all time.
ton of news. We didn't even get to the Commanders. We may have to wait till the end of the week. My 2 Commanders guests.
Man, Matt Johnson changing the name? Him and Josh Harris talked about that.
Yeah, that's got to wait a year, though.
Yeah, no, not
it's
this
not
year,
happen
next year.
This year,
yeah,
but for next
full
year.
rebrand.
Right?
Now, let me ask you, because I asked this to the callers on Friday on SportsChat, because I said it was SportsChat with Dave Schultz, and I did the little scratch outside.
I heard that. I heard that.
Okay. Look, I mean, you see that on TV.
It's fine.
But I asked, would you change the colors? And some callers said, yeah. Like
whole rebrand.
Full rebrand. My co-host said full rebrand too.
Yeah, but they've been that color.
That's what I said.
Long before Dan Snyder, right?
That's what I said.
I would either do the Red Tails.
I like that. Or
I go back to Washington football team.
That's what.
It's so simple.
You
right?
read my mind. You
soccer.
said literally both the names I said. Some people were saying generals. Some people were saying keep commanders. Some people said presidents.
All right, you don't want the Washington Generals.
That's what I said.
I understand why you'd want them.
Shannon said warthogs.
I don't know what that means. Why?
No, he just wanted a vicious four-legged animal. He's like, bring some animal names.
You don't want the Generals because they're the goofy losers to the Harlem Globetrotters.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you don't want.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm with you with Red Tails.
Either Red Tails, right?
It's about those. It's about the.
Was that the African American
airmen?
Airmen in World War II. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So you could do Red Tails, which is cool. Or I just go Washington football team.
Yes.
Make it really simple.
Right? I honestly thought the football team was such a clever name.
Or Washington Football Club. It could be WFC.
I like that. And if you want to be away from Dan Snyder's name with football, I like football club a lot. WFC, that's a good abbreviation.
It's just something simple.
Yeah,
right?
I like that. I like that a lot. But man, I wouldn't change the colors. That's too much.
No, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that.
But I mean, if you do... do you tap into what the hockey and basketball team have with the red, white, and blue? No other team? Oh, your team has it. Never mind.
Who's my team?
Patriots.
Sixers.
No, I just meant in NFL. Does any other team have those colors?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No. The other thing has been this running back thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sorry to say, they're stuck. There is no recourse for what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's a racial thing in this case. It's a numbers thing. So if you look up, do we know what? I Googled it, so I don't know what the last one was. So I saw that one person was up to 19 million guaranteed. Another person had like 12 million annually. I mean, Miles Sanders has a 4-year deal, about $24 million. The first 2 years are guaranteed. He's getting $13 million. If you compare Miles Sanders to Saquon Barkley, is Saquon Barkley really twice as good as Miles Sanders? I don't think so.
No, not at all.
So is he just trying to get to where Christian McCaffrey was and Derrick Henry was? Now, the problem with the Giants is, how much did Daniel Jones get? The thing is, Daniel Jones technically is at a bargain.
He is.
But he's also not that good, right? We're going crazy over Daniel Jones. He doesn't average 1 touchdown a game.
Oof.
Right? Did he have 16 touchdown passes last year? 16.
4 years. Hold on. Here we go.
I thought he got $35 million a year. Maybe 40?
If Sports Rack would load, it's looking like it's $25 million a year. That's
That's really it.
Okay, no, it's 4 years, $160 million.
Right.
With $9 million this year base salary. The next year, 35. Year after that, it goes down to 30, and then year after that, it goes up to 46.
Yeah, but what's guaranteed?
Let's see.
It'll tell you there on Sport Track.
Guaranteed at sign, $81 million.
Okay.
Total guaranteed, $92 million.
There you go.
Yeah, average salary about 40.
And his stats were awful last year.
But compared to
also, by the way, what are you saying the guarantee is?
It said guarantee at sign, $81 million, and then total guaranteed, $92. It's
right next potential. They got a potential out after 2 seasons. So I don't know what that means. I guess you got to pay it anyways.
Yeah, because you see the GTD at sign and the GTD, total GTD. So, yeah,
I'm not sure what these running backs can do. Dalvin Cook was on the Rich Eisen show, and they had a powwow, and I don't know what they can do.
I heard a good idea of letting the running backs come out earlier from the draft, the only position.
Why would that change anything?
Next time you're at the store, I dare you to not think about the unmistakable.
My apologies, started a little early.
Why would that change anything?
Because they utilize they run out of gas earlier. They utilize they break down faster. So it allows them to, maybe.
Yeah, but now you're giving something to,
Yeah.
As soon as you say the running back can come out early, the quarterback's going to want to come out early.
True. Fair.
That's the problem. These things are negotiated for everybody. And I think I saw Mike Golick said, hey, when we got the franchise tag back in the day, everybody was thrilled with it, right? You don't think those quarterbacks like the franchise tag?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Now they want more guaranteed money over a longer period of time, but Kirk Cousins has made a lot of money with the franchise tag.
No, you're right.
Couple years.
You're right.
So at one point in time, they liked it. It's just gone down for running backs because, we got analytics in there and these nerds, these geeks who happen to be right. Like, why am I paying Saquon Barkley all this money when I can get somebody who's going to give me 75 to 80% of his production for 10 to 20% of the cost? And so I can help him out with a better left tackle, a better right guard, a better wide receivers.
You're right.
No, that's the problem with a running back. There is no solution.
They're just in a rock and a hard place.
They really are, right?
You just have to make yourself like Kamara and Christian McCaffrey and let yourself do more than just run the ball.
Or you got to sit out earlier.
That's
the solution.
Yeah.
That if you outdo your contract after year 1 and year 2,
sit out.
You got to sit out.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem with that is they'll say, okay, moving on.
Yep.
But that's what you got to do. All right, let's take a timeout. All right, we got lots to do. Corey Diaz coming up at 4:30 talking Cajuns. We got Ryan Ballinger talking British Open at 5. But coming up next, we've got Phil Steele from the Phil Steele College Preview Magazine. Coming up next on a Monday afternoon sports chat. Dave Schultz, Lyndon Burton, 103.3 The Go.
Fresh, clean scent of Irish Spring. Yeah, you heard me. I want you to resist picturing a shower filled with those sensational Irish Spring suds. And if you succeed, well, you got what my gramps used to call resolutitude. Not a real word, but let's be honest, you're probably going to end up leaving with Irish Spring because of its irresistible scent and because you have zero resolutitude. Pick up Irish Spring today.
The mission of Paralyzed Veterans of America is clear. Accessibility. Veterans who have served and sacrificed the best of themselves deserve access to the best our country has to offer. Access to meaningful employment. Access to the veterans' benefits they've earned. Accessible homes and vehicles. And access to every part of their communities. With PVA staff working inside VA hospitals, no other veterans organization has provided more real-time, ongoing support for paralyzed veterans and their families. PVA is proud to serve veterans across all branches, all generations, and all conflicts. Our nation's heroes fought for your independence. Join PVA in fighting for theirs at PVA.org.
What is dedication? The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Dariana. We call him Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
I'm Shanola Hampton. I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for and there they go. Almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the
right seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton.